Hello, hello, hello. Kitty Shambliss here of Loving Without Boundaries. I am excited to be here doing another Facebook Live. Today it will be just myself, my partner in crime, my mindset coach, a beautiful human being on our team is unfortunately not feeling well. So normally these every other Monday Facebook Lives are with BNI, but yeah, so I'll be doing it here on my own. So I'm excited to be here with you. So if you are seeing us anywhere other than our online private Facebook community on Facebook, know that if you are looking for community, feel free to join us over there. So if you are on Facebook, if you desire to find community, feel free to get a Facebook account. And it is a private community. Nobody can see that you are in there. If you want to join us, it is called Loving Without Boundaries, Healthy Open Relationships and Lifestyle Freedom. We have other like-minded people like yourselves who are doing their very best to live their most authentic lives, even when they are coloring outside of the lines of heteronormative monogamy. So they're at making posts, they are supporting each other. We just have a lot of love and compassion and celebration of everyone doing everything they can to live their most authentic lives there. So with that, let's get to our topic. So today's topic is called the clarity effect, communication enhanced. What do we mean by that? Well, when we are practicing open relationships, consensual or ethical non-monogamy, polyamory, whatever you call it in your neck of the woods, wherever you are, we may think we have good communication skills. You may actually have good to great communication skills. However, once we are adding multiple people to our dynamic, to our families, to our social networks, whether they're lovers or friends with benefits, we are adding more areas for there to be misunderstandings, miscommunications, not understanding each other. So it's really important to understand that we need advanced communication methods and tools and strategies to be able to navigate that, as well as understanding how to show up as the best version of you in those relationships, because it's going to challenge you. It's natural to feel some jealousy, it's natural to feel some insecurity or lack of confidence or low self-esteem. So it's really important to understand that this is an inside out job. It starts from within you, from your very soul, because practicing consensual non-monogamy or polyamory, it's going to test you. It's going to challenge your own ways of thinking about the world, and it's going to bring forth personal growth of all kinds. And what we find is that it is often the most missed step when people don't realize, hey, maybe I need to do some serious up leveling here, and I'm going to have to get some new tools, new ways of thinking, more clarity. And that's what's so important about today's talk too, is that clarity can come in multiple forms, but before you can even communicate what your needs are, what your feelings, your wants are, you have to have that clarity about who you are. What are your highest values? What are you really needing? Because we all, as human beings, are looking to get our needs met at any given moment in time. Sometimes we're doing things that are destructive or damaging to ourselves or to relationships to look to get our needs met. Yet we can also be doing things that are constructive, that are building trust, that are building bridges and building connection in order to get our needs met. So this is incredibly important when you think about building out multiple relationships. A lot of people come to me and tell me that, hey, it's challenging just to even have one healthy, beautiful relationships. How do we multiply that and have more than one relationship? Well, what I can tell you is, first, it's that conversation that you have with yourself. It's practicing self acceptance, getting that clarity about who you are and what you truly desire in relationships, in your life, so that you can show up as that best version of you. And that's all absolutely possible. So, what happens if you don't have that clarity, if you don't have those higher level advanced communication skills? Well, there can be short term consequences and long term consequences. So, some of those short term consequences is there can be misunderstandings. We can feel like we're walking on eggshells with our loved ones. We can, if we don't have clarity about how to have healthy boundaries and don't have the communication skills or the confidence to be able to speak about what those boundaries are, what are we okay with and what are we not okay with, we can unintentionally cross each other's boundaries or realize, hey, I'm feeling really crappy right now. I wonder what's going on. And you may come to realize that you don't actually, you've never done the work to have healthy boundaries and you don't know how to communicate it with your loved ones. I see this every day in the work that I do. I speak to people literally every single day, whether they're people in our Loving Without Boundaries wider community, or they are our beautiful and deeply cherished clients, or even in my own family, my own polycule, which is the name for folks that are practicing polyamory, and they're kind of building that family dynamic, that system, that intimate network system. Another short-term consequence of not having that clarity from the inside out and knowing how to communicate in really healthy ways is that we can perceive other people and situations as a threat, whether they are or they're not. That can be like our go-to place. We're just assuming that from a place of either low self-esteem or having that sense of paranoia that other people are out to get us. That can be something that can happen when that confidence level, or you don't have those skills and you have not been cultivating those, that we can perceive other people as a threat. Our partner's partner, which is also known as a metamor. Now, could those people be a threat? It's possible. But that's also where that clarity comes in, is being able to understand how to look at those people and how to evaluate where other folks are coming from. Some examples of actual threats would be sometimes what we call cowboys or cowgirls. What do I mean by that? Well, that means when our partner's partner maybe identifies as monogamous and they're trying to lasso our partner and bring them over to be in a monogamous relationship with them. They're looking to potentially break up the relationship that we're already in with that partner. So that can be a threat, but that's where it's so important to get that clarity ahead of time and then know how to communicate with your partner in a way that you're not going to get on what we call the field of battle, where you're not going to erode trust or damage that connection and that relationship. And you can learn how to have the tools to have those delicate conversations. That might look like, hey, I'm not feeling really comfortable with what I'm seeing happening, or what you've been telling me about this other partner that you have. I have some concerns. Are you available to talk about some of those concerns with me? So there are many ways to be able to get some of those communication tools so that you can have those different conversations. Another actual threat could be if your partner's partner, maybe they're engaging in dysfunctional or abusive behavior patterns. But again, you have to get that clarity first to be able to identify what's actually happening, understand what your healthy boundaries are, understand the difference between a codependent dynamic and relationship versus a healthy dynamic where there's secure attachment. This is all things that you can learn that are all teachable. It's absolutely all possible. So, what are some long term consequences of not having that clarity from the inside out and those advanced communication skills? Well, some of those long term consequences could be difficulty in resolving issues. That can look like where you feel like you're on this kind of endless circle. Maybe you feel like you're walking on eggshells with your partners, where just you keep having the same old arguments over and over again. Maybe there's a period where it feels a little bit calm, then there's some tension, and then it starts to build again and starts to create this vicious cycle of getting into another really big argument. And you find that you're not resolving your issues. That can erode your connection, your trust in your relationship. It can feel like you're sabotaging that connection and that relationship, both with yourself and with your partner, it can also start to feel maddening, that doesn't feel good for anybody. So realizing that it's not sustainable, that's what a lot of people tell me. They come to me after they realize, hey, this isn't sustainable. We don't have the tools to be able to resolve these conflicts that we're having. We need help. That's when a lot of people sometimes raise their hand and go seek out some help. Another long-term consequence is there can be unclear or opposing long-term expectations. What do I mean by that? Well, sometimes we can have unvoiced expectations of what we're seeking in relationships or what we are needing and wanting in a relationship. Once again, you need to get the clarity first on what are your expectations. How do you want and need your partner to show up for you? That may look like knowing what your highest values are. Are some of your values feeling connecting, feeling like you've got mutual respect, where you feel like you're on the same team? Maybe one of your values is finding inner peace and happiness, or maybe feeling like you can have that sense of closeness and be able to talk through and resolve issues. What is it for you? It may look like you've learned a lot from some past relationships where maybe there was some toxic or dysfunctional behaviors going on, and you need to draw a line in the sand and have those communication skills to be able to express that. Because one thing that can definitely hurt a relationship is if we're expecting our partners to read our minds, right? That's not fair to expect our partners to read our minds. There's that old cliche of, if you loved me, you would just know. But at the end of the day, that's kind of BS, right? I mean, it's really our work to figure out, what are we needing? What are our expectations and boundaries? What are our needs, values, and wants? And then to give voice to that and share it in a compassionate and respectful way with our loved ones. So I love how Brene Brown says that clear is kind. So if we're not being clear, if we're maybe using tactics like being passive aggressive towards our partners instead of sitting down and having the conversations that we need to have, and also seeking out the guidance that we need to possibly get those skills addressed, to up level our skills from the inside out. I'd like to stop for a moment, and I see that we have several people on different social media platforms watching. So I'd love to just stop and say, hey, is this resonating with you? What is resonating with you? And also, if you have a question, I invite you to put a question right here in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. So if you do, I've got my eye on the comments here. Know that I'm happy to engage with you, because I want you to feel that support. I want you to know that you are not alone on this journey, because that's the other thing I hear so often is people reach out to me saying, you are one of the only people I'm telling this thing to, or this other situation. I don't feel like I have anybody in my corner who really understands the challenges and the unique struggles that come up in consensual non-monogamy, in polyamorous relationships. So if that's you, know that I see you. I feel your pain. I know how isolating and lonely that can feel. So I want to make sure that you know that you are not alone. If you joined us late and you are not within our Facebook community, I do want to encourage you, if you are feeling alone, remember that we have a thriving, beautiful, amazing community, if you're not already a part of it, called Loving Without Boundaries on Facebook. Loving Without Boundaries, healthy, open relationships, and lifestyle freedom. Why lifestyle freedom? Well, because I couldn't say sex positivity on Facebook. So I had to change it over to lifestyle freedom. So, yeah, so just want to really know that you are not alone and that we are here for you. So, now that we have some clarity around why this is an inside out job, why advanced communication skills are so important, how do you solve this? How do you get to a better place with all this? Well, one, know that you can join a community, because it is important to know that you can build a supportive network, whether that is locally in your own community, and I'll come back to that in a moment, or also you can build an online network. Post pandemic, I think all of us can agree that we can find relationships, we can meet over Zoom, Community is everything. Surrounding yourself with people who will help remind you that you can do this. You can do hard things, even when coloring outside of the lines of heteronormative monogamy, which can feel super challenging. You absolutely can do that. And if you're surrounding yourself with other people who are on that journey too, that can help you to feel more resilient. You can feel like you have people who have your back, who understand you, and that can mean everything. That can be the difference between giving up and or failing, or being in unnecessary suffering, or being in a tribe, a pack of people who are headed towards the same goals that you are. That is incredibly, incredibly important. I can't stress that enough. So that's number one. So finding community, whether it's locally or not. And I don't want to forget to say it, that I live in the Washington, D.C. area, and we are literally starting right now to have local events in our community. So if you happen to be in the Washington, D.C. area, we are going to start hosting live meetups and events. The first one will be Wednesday evening here in the DC area in Old Town, Alexandria on May 8th. So that was Wednesday, May 8th. We're going to be meeting in Old Town in Alexandria at a place called Murphy's Tavern. It's a great place to go. So know that we are there, and we will be announcing that more online as well. If you would like to join us, we will be announcing that on meetup.com and also announcing it over social media, including in our Facebook group. So that's number one, find community locally or online. Number two is do some of that inner work to explore your own emotions. Know that your emotions are messengers. They're giving you really valuable information. And what's great about that is you don't have to run away from your emotions or try to suppress them down, because your emotions and your needs as well, they're going to be like beach balls. If you try and push them down in a pool, for example, they're just going to keep popping up again until you address those emotions, until you address those needs. So that's number two, is to do the inner work, get that clarity, and explore your emotions, welcome them, explore your needs, get clarity on what are your values for you. Because once you get those clear on that, your values, your emotions, and your needs, then number three, you can start to establish clear communication habits and up level your skills in terms of how to communicate in really healthy ways. When you're in a more traditional monogamous relationship, you could possibly be fine for years with your communication level at a 5 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10. You could be fine there for a long time. However, when we're expanding our relationships, when we're practicing or looking to explore polyamory or consensual or ethical non-monogamy or relationship anarchy, or opening up a marriage or an established relationship, or simply living your most authentic life, if you are in the LGBTQ plus community and you're exploring what that looks like to you, you're going to need higher level communication skills, more at like an 8, a 9, or a 10 level. And doing that on your own can be really challenging. However you can, it's going to take some hard work. It may take a while. Sometimes doing it on your own can just simply be like slow and steady progress, kind of like the tortoise versus the hare. And number five, I would say, is knowing that you can, if it was like 5 or 4, I forget, but knowing that you can leverage your resources, meaning if you are feeling like things are slow going or you're not being able to figure this out on your own, there is slower ways to navigate this, whether it is reading books or attempting to watch YouTube videos, but maybe you don't know how to apply it, or maybe you are going to traditional therapy or counseling, but you're finding it's not really moving the needle as quickly as you would like, or possibly even at all. I've heard that many times, that sometimes people have come to me after they have done years of research meaning exactly what I was saying, reading books, going online and finding articles, going on YouTube, going into Reddit, where it's the blind leading the blind. And sometimes, sadly to say, they may have been in therapy and counseling, sometimes not even just for years, but for decades. And it's just kind of rehashing the pain, and they're barely making any progress. I'm really sad to say, I do hear that a fair amount. Just like any other profession, There's going to be good therapists and bad therapists, good counselors and not so great ones, right? That's not to make this a make wrong. It's simply true in any profession. Same with doctors, right? That's why they have the top 10 list of who are the best doctors in your area on this particular expertise, this particular skill area that you're needing help with. It's the same with any profession. So leverage your resources. That means also leverage your time and your energy, because we have only a limited amount of that, and do what is going to give you the best results in the quickest possible way with the least amount of suffering. And that's the last thing is I definitely encourage you, if you are making slow progress and or it's just not, you're not able to figure this out on your own, know that there is no shame in that. There is no shame in raising your hand and saying, hey, I need some more help. I cannot figure this out on my own. I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling depressed or sad. I've been crying for days. I hear that a lot as well. I'm feeling like I'm crazy and like nobody understands me. I don't have anybody near me that I can talk to about this. And I realize that I'm stuck and I need some help. There is absolutely no shame in raising your hand and saying, I'm ready to get some help. So if that is you, if you are ready to have a deeper conversation, if you are ready to invest the time, invest in yourself and put in the work, and you know that you are your best investment, your skill set is your best investment, and you want to see what that looks like, I invite you to book a call. And I love talking to people in our community. So booking a call would be at lovingwithoutboundaries.com/apply. That link takes you directly into my calendar, literally right here on my phone. And you're just simply going to pick a time slot that works for you. That's also available on my calendar as well. There'll be a very brief form for you to fill out that just helps set us up for success on our call and respects all of our time. I also encourage you to watch my free masterclass. Once you book that call, you'll have a link for that that comes in your emails. You can also go to my website and watch that masterclass. It's free. It's about 45 minutes long. It helps you get to know how this process works. It helps you understand what are some of the shifts that my clients have made to thrive in their open relationships, learning how to navigate even when there is jealousy or insecurity, or they need to release shame or guilt, or also if there is the pain of ongoing infidelity and they want to release that, they want to know how to release any past trauma that may be holding them back. That's all you need to do is book that call, watch the masterclass, fill out that short application, and then we will jump on a call and we'll go over three things. We'll talk about what are the main things that you're struggling with in your particular situation. I want to get to know you, see if I can help. Well, more importantly, we'll talk about where you ideally would like to be. And if I feel that I can help you, we'll start to lay out a step-by-step plan on what that looks like. And I'll give you information to make a decision for yourself, your own well-being, and your family on that call. And if we're not a fit for some reason, I'll let you know that as well if the timing doesn't feel quite right. I've been doing this a long time, over a decade. I will let you know that as well. So I will do everything I can to steer you in the best direction for you so that you get the value and the clarity that you need. I am here for you, and I am passionate about helping people live their most authentic lives, free from jealousy and insecurity or any self-esteem issues, free from shame or guilt and releasing that, and also learning how to heal from any pain of any past infidelity or cheating so that you can live your best lives in the open relationship space in a sex positive way so that you feel unstoppable. You fall back in love with yourself. You lean into self acceptance and self love, and possibly build a modern family in a way that works for you. So if that's you, I invite you to book that call at lovingwithoutboundaries.com/apply. And make sure to watch that free masterclass that I have on my website. Again, it's free. It's 45 minutes long. And I look forward to speaking with you. Know that we are here for you. And I truly care about your well-being. And I look forward to the next time we can have a chat. Until then, I hope your week's off to a great start. I'm Kitty Chambliss, and I wish you the best. And if you aren't part of our community, come join us at Loving Without Boundaries, Healthy Open Relationships and Lifestyle Freedom on Facebook. Okay, take care.